Hey there, everyone. So, this is the second live for today, which is a little different, but it's content that I wanted to share. So, it doesn't matter that it's the second thing I'm doing today. I want to talk to you today about a different way to think about developing a program. And this is in part sort of a journaling of what I'm doing so that you know, and in part a teaching because it's what I normally do. When you're creating a new program in business, and again, clarifying, this is generally for people who really are caring about their alignment, that things feel correct for them, and you're wanting to create a program as an intuitive, as an empath, as somebody who just needs to follow their soul and often feels like maybe this is a little bit off compared to what normal other people would be doing. So what we have to pay attention to when we're super intuitive and super sensitive is we really need to listen to our senses in terms of defining what we're going to create for our program. So in my case, I'm creating a mentorship, a small group mentorship, and I have been knowing that this is going to come for almost a year. I've known this is going to come, and a lot of what I've been doing has been listening to how I feel about it, and I have clarity about certain things. But here's the most important part. I need to feel in my body, feel in my energy field, the intentional energy tone of what that group is going to be. It isn't just a mental assessment of here's how many people are going to be in it, here's how we're going to work together, here are the topics we're going to do, here are the topics I'm going to teach. This is not about teaching. This is really about what's the energetic intention, who is being called forth, right? Who am I calling forth and to what end? And when we are growing as divine creators, what we often think is that we need to create from mental, instructional, and when we're growing as divine creators, we're really talking about how do I align myself energetically, how do I align and listen for what my intuition is guiding me to. So I thought it'd be helpful to give you some of the tips about what I've been paying attention to. So first of all, one of my biggest tools is human design. So if you know your human design, then you're going to follow your authority. And your authority is your strategy and your authority are both going to give you really clear first level instruction on what to pay attention to. So in my case, I'm a generator with emotional authority. And in that case, I'm designed to create in response. So I can imagine things I want, but I have to allow my emotional wave to give me more clarity about how that's going to play out. And then if you get into more detail in human design, it'll help you get a little bit more information. So for me, my information is I like to learn about a lot of things. So I do a lot of that automatically. I'm a big learner. But also I need to experience, and I get stuck. This is where I get stuck when I have these two things, is that I want to learn my way into the most effective, right way to do something before I will go do something. And the profile that I have as a 3 is I really need to go do the thing for anything to ever really develop, because I'm going to have to do it to get experience. Hence these 30 days of lives. So that's one really effective tool when you're developing a program, is to follow your strategy and authority, in my case, emotions. The other thing to pay attention to is your energy. Now, when you're an intuitive and you're empathic, you're very aware of energy. It's a sensing awareness. Sometimes it's emotional, but a lot of times it's a sensing. So you can sense your way to clarity. So a good example would be, would you offer a group program for small? Like, what size of group would you offer? Like, how big would this group be offered given who you are, like how you like to work, and you allow your intuition to guide you on that. So for me, I've historically done really small groups, and in this case, when I allow my intuition to guide me, it feels a lot like this is going to be no less than 8 and probably not more than 16. So that's the context of making a decision for my group program, given that I've already set the intention. So my intention for this group, as I felt the energy, is about how do I support intuitive women in business to emerge as a divine creator. So if you've been doing your work, then the question is, how do you walk your path as somebody who's already taken care of the things they need to take care of, and how do you step out being a different person when you've never been that person before? You only have experience being this other person, right? So there's an energy tone to this. So that's part of the energy I was listening for. And then I begin to listen to all of the other elements from an energy intuitive standpoint. And again, my intuition isn't like seeing things or hearing things. It's really very soft in the claircognizant, like I have to allow things to sort of filter in. Another way that's really important to think about is to think about alignment when you're developing a program. So by alignment, I mean alignment to you. Most of the time we're given directions to align programs to the audience. And to some extent that is influenced. It is a part of what I'm considering, but primarily it has to align to me. How do I like to work? How is it important for me to deliver this content? How does my overall self feel like it needs to share this? And when I talk about wanting to support women through emergence and emerging into who they are, it's not going to be with a course and it's not going to be with defined content. And so then I have to get creative and I have to allow myself to listen for, well, then what is the benefit? What is going to happen that helps them? And again, I'm listening from an alignment place. How does this align for me? Am I going to be helping them do very tangible things, or lighter, or deeper in this case, like trust? Are we going to be working on trust? Are we going to be working on how to create beyond shame and releasing judgment on something else? All right, I hope all that's coming through because I'm getting notices that I've got a shaky connection. Next, another really different approach to programs is to really listen for the time. To pay attention to what kind of time makes sense. How much lead time do you give yourself to allow energy to collect? Can you sense the correct time? So for me, it feels very important that this start in mid-August. It just feels, and every time I think of a date, like I think, okay, what about September? Because that really makes more sense. Kids will be in school and then people September would logically make more sense. But when I allow my body and my energy to feel September, it feels like a definite no. It's very clearly mid-August. I'm like, okay. Because when you're intuitive, you're really listening for what is my inner guidance offering me? And life has a way of showing you the full answer. Okay. I think I've covered a pretty big component of elements in terms of how to think about the program. And the biggest piece of the program, it's about calling in energy. And we call in energy not by the things that we do necessarily, but by the way we align our energy. So if you're following the lead with feeling tones, then you're beginning to call in energy. Once you've got your energy lined to do things in the outer world, because what you do in the outer world, like let's say doing this live, is going to come from more clear energy. It's going to open up the door to the field that I already created. That's what we're looking for. There are ways to create differently, right? But if you want to be able to leverage the divine creator that you are and have things line up for you in ways that you can't imagine, this is the way we do it. You have to listen to the inner alignment, to your divine source, and then follow it into action in a way, again, that feels aligned. Like I could have chosen not to do lives. I could have chosen to make social media posts. That doesn't line up with how I create. I'm not very effective at that. I could have chosen to do this on YouTube. That did not feel correct. Like honestly, it did not feel correct. The content I'm sharing feels like it could work, but it didn't feel correct. So we're not doing that. I could be using posts, and I'm writing on my newsletter and Substack, but for some reason, this is the one that kept showing up. And so I'm trusting it, and we will see where it takes me, right? So if you have any questions and you're listening to this video, drop them in the comments. And if you'd like to follow along and have a summary of what's happening, please join my Substack from my link in bio. Okay, you all, take care. Thanks.